France is a pearl in Europe and hardly needs any introduction, does it? The country fascinates with cities that look like something out of a movie, dazzling landscapes, world-famous gastronomy, and iconic attractions. And believe me, France is much more than the country of ooh la la and the Eiffel Tower. In addition to a remarkable history and culture, this country reveals curiosities that will surprise you. Did you know that it is customary to marry someone who has already died? Did you know that the French do not mind betrayal and consider it normal? Have you ever wondered how this nation earned its reputation as a country of debauchery? Today we are going to explore all these peculiarities and discover what makes France a truly unique place. The history of France is an incredible journey that has not only shaped the country, but has also left an unmistakable mark on the world stage, thanks to illustrious figures such as Napoleon Bonaparte, Voltaire, Descartes, Joan of Arc, and many others. The French Revolution, with its emblematic slogan, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, in English, liberty, equality, fraternity, was a crucial milestone in the country's development. In the 20th century, France faced the challenges of the World Wars, being occupied by the Nazis during World War II and later liberated by the Allies. In the post-war period, France played a key role in the European Union and underwent major economic and social transformations. Today, with a population of more than 65 million, France ranks 7th among the world's largest economies in 2023 and has become a global powerhouse as well as a dream destination for countless people. Paris, of course, usually stands out on many trips, with the iconic Eiffel Tower, the gems of the Louvre Museum, including Leonardo da Vinci's famous Mona Lisa. However, the French capital is not the country's only star. With hundreds of museums, theaters, concert halls, and libraries, France is a veritable cultural treasure trove. Monuments such as the majestic Notre Dame Cathedral and the elegance of the Champs-Élysées, one of the most famous avenues in the world. But the real magic of France goes far beyond the lights of Paris. Here you'll also find the majestic French Alps, such as Chamonix, which offer a spectacle and natural grandeur that will leave you speechless. And as you explore the extensive coastline, you'll enjoy the breathtaking beauty of the sunny beaches of Nice and the Côte d'Azur, as well as the stunning cliffs of Étretat in enchanting Normandy. This region, once the scene of foreign invasions, witnessed the Vikings establishing their dominance in the northern lands. And if you've ever watched the Viking series about our beloved Ragnar, you'll surely remember this invasion portrayed on screen under Rollo's leadership. But just to be clear, in real life he is not Ragnar Lodbrok's brother, okay? For wine lovers, French wineries are real treasures producing some of the best vintages in the world. And in the stunning Loire Valley, the chateaux are true works of architectural art. How about a visit to Mont Saint-Michel, a medieval village with a majestic abbey? Or lose yourself in the gardens of Versailles, an experience that needs no introduction. Whatever your vacation itinerary, one thing is certain. Exploring France also means embarking on an impressive gastronomic journey. The country is home to some of the best restaurants and chefs in the world. In fact, French gastronomy is so exceptional that it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2010, becoming part of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. French cuisine is full of fascinating curiosities, especially when it comes to cheeses and breads. Unlike in many countries, where cheeses are usually eaten as a snack, in France they are usually enjoyed as a dessert after lunch or dinner. And when it comes to cheese, France is unbeatable, producing almost 1 billion tons of cheese per year, distributed in almost 1,200 different varieties. As for bread, it's not just a starter, but often accompanies the main meal, giving you the opportunity to savor the delicious broths and sauces on the plate. Those iconic scenes from movies or series showing people walking down the street with a loaf of bread under their arm are absolutely real. Between 6 and 7 p.m., when leaving work, the French stop to buy a baguette for dinner. The croissant is undoubtedly one of the icons of French cuisine and is a traditional puff pastry bread that is used on many occasions, whether as a snack, breakfast, or even dessert. And for the record, although the croissant is internationally associated with France, its origins are actually Austrian. In addition to the croissant, French pastries offer a whole range of delicacies, such as traditional macaroons, éclairs, crepes, assorted tarts, and millefeuilles. And of course, we cannot forget the wines. It is quite common to drink wine at lunchtime during the week, especially at business meetings. No wonder the French consume approximately 11.2 billion glasses of wine a year. France, with its quirky style and joie de vivre, offers an experience rich in joy and memorable flavors. And speaking of quirky style, have you ever heard of the post-mortem marriage? Well, post-mortem marriage is basically marrying a deceased person, and surprisingly, it is a legal form of marriage in France. In the country, in exceptional cases, it is legally allowed to marry someone who has passed from this life. However, there is an interesting requirement. You must prove that the deceased person intended to marry you while he or she was alive. In the land of croissants and wine, marriage is really a separate story. Besides having the peculiarity of marrying the dead, the French also have a liberal view of relationships and extramarital affairs. It was in this context that the slogan Liberté, Égalité, Infidélité emerged, a satire of the motto of the French Revolution, where the word fraternity was replaced by infidelity. The theme of infidelity in France has deep roots in its cultural history. The country, often recognized as libertine, has explored themes related to individual freedom, including sexual freedom and betrayal, especially in the works of the famous Marquis de Sade, which even earned him a prison sentence ordered by Napoleon Bonaparte. Among Sade's outstanding works is the book The Cuckold of Himself and Other Tales, a collection of 10 stories that delve into the complexity of relationships and infidelity. It deals with situations such as that of a woman with 2 lovers and horological complications, or that of a husband who discovers his wife in an alleged extramarital affair. Unlike other nations, the French do not view infidelity with distaste. On the contrary, they live with it with a unique tranquility. It's hard to believe, but it's true, as confirmed by a survey by the French Institute of Public Opinion, according to which 55% of men and 32% of women in the country admit to having been unfaithful. And according to the same survey, 46% of the women interviewed confessed to having kissed someone who was not their partner, while 51% fantasize about having sex outside marriage. This is even more evident when a comprehensive study conducted by the Pew Research Center in 40 countries revealed that approximately 78% of people worldwide consider infidelity to be morally unacceptable. However, in France, only 47% of French people share this view. In other words, less than half of the respondents believe that cheating is unacceptable, highlighting a more liberal attitude towards relationships outside marriage in this country. And believe it or not, this topic has ended up being the subject of a book, but not short stories like those of the famous Marquis de Sade. The book in question is called Modern Romance, written by Aziz Ansari, and explores the statistics and romantic dynamics in the digital age. To better understand the country's peculiar relationship with infidelity, the book's author traveled to France and interviewed locals to get their views on the subject. Interviewees shared that betrayal was often seen as natural or unavoidable in the pursuit of new sexual experiences. In France, extramarital affairs are so common that one person even shared with the author the curiosity that French florists often advertise: "Don't forget your lover." During his visit, Ansari realized that the French are not that fazed by marital betrayal, and 63% believe it is possible to love someone even if they have betrayed him or her. One of the respondents, 30 years old, married with 2 children, states that adultery is not a valid reason to question their relationship. There are much more important things, such as the children's education or the convergence of ideas. She also says that the term infidelity bothers her, as she considers it very subjective. The young woman distinguishes between types of deviance. Living a double life, getting another woman pregnant, is betrayal. But you can't blame the other person for kissing or sleeping with someone you really like. Another interviewee, on the other hand, says it's not fair to jeopardize an entire relationship over a betrayal, and says she prefers an unfaithful man who satisfies her on several levels, rather than a faithful, unsatisfying man. But if there was one interview that really caught our attention, it was from a young woman who is aware that her partner cheats on her regularly, and says that it doesn't change anything in the relationship, as long as he is available and present when needed. because she believes he is entitled to his freedom, just as she is. And, of course, not to forget to mention that this concept of debauchery and betrayal also marks the relationship between French politicians and their mistresses. In France, the attitude towards the private lives of leaders is markedly different from that of other cultures such as the United States, for example, where several leaders have been the subject of scandals and have lost their positions when their extramarital affairs came to light. A typical example was Democratic Senator Gary Hart, once considered a promising presidential candidate who had to resign his candidacy after being caught with a young model, and who does not remember the case of Bill Clinton, who faced impeachment proceedings for his affair with an intern, from which he escaped after a humiliating public apology. But in France, the attitude is notably more relaxed, and the French tend not to worry so much about the personal lives of their politicians, even when it comes to jumping the fence. In 2014, a notable example was when former President François Hollande was caught cheating on his first lady with an actress 18 years younger. Unlike similar cases, many French people ended up defending Hollande. Dominique Walton, researcher emeritus at the National Center for Scientific Research, was one of them and argued that France's tolerance of the private lives of leaders is the fruit of the country's libertine, secular, and less hypocritical character. Another notable episode occurred in 1981, when François Mitterrand became president and an opposition magazine made public the existence of a secret daughter, the fruit of a relationship with a mistress, thinking it would cause a stir, only to backfire. The story was forgotten for more than 13 years and did not serve to change the politician's image. The episode was only remembered when the politician died, and his daughter and mistress attended his funeral along with his legitimate family, with no scandal or other developments. It really seems that the French are quite ahead of the curve when it comes to open-mindedness, don't you think? But what do you think about it? Share with us in the comments what struck you the most. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content. Thanks to all of you who joined us, and see you next time.